Welcome to our story. Today, we have a very special guest, and I'm going to tell you about him in a bit. But here's a context. A typical staffing company often leverages multiple software like customer relationship management, applicant tracking systems, or human resources management systems. And there are several other systems too. While these do solve key operational and business challenges, they also create silos of data with often no common link connecting them. This makes it extremely challenging for salespersons to work on an opportunity as there's no single source of truth that can help them close the deal. It is here that Urwin steps in. It is a San Francisco-based SaaS platform which offers a diverse suite of products across recruitment, sales, and HR. This startup has become a game changer in the industry. Built upon nearly a decade of research and experience, Urwin is changing the traditional practices of hiring, sales, and customer experience with its ease of use and simplicity. Urwin is a unique blend of technology and customer-focused support that empowers companies to work seamlessly across geographies, offices, and remote work landscapes. The company currently serves hundreds of satisfied customers across the US, UK, Singapore, and India. And I have the founder with me, Venkat Kolli. He will tell us how this company uses AI to sales, recruitment, and human resources. And it enables companies to win more deals, recruit quality candidates, enhance candidate and employee experience while ensuring compliance. And all of this while providing a single source of truth for the business. Venkat is also a serial entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in starting and managing multiple consulting and staffing companies in US and India. Venkat, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, Vishal. How are you?
I'm good, man. But let's start with Urwin, right? The transformation that it proposes, its value proposition is great. It's an AI-powered sales and recruitment platform, right? Can you tell us how are you leveraging AI and ML uniquely as opposed to other staffing and consulting companies out there, right? There are several of them.
Urwin is more of a AI-based platform used by consulting and staffing companies across US and India and other regions right now. Our main unique value prop came with some of our experiences that we had with previous organizations. What the problem we had was we had multiple platforms to run our same business. And for applicant tracking system, because recruiting is a primary component of any of these services business, recruiting is where we had to leverage other ATS platforms. That's where we saw a big gap and opportunity where there was not a single platform that was available in the market or among any other companies, which would combine the sales, the recruitment, and HR. One of the biggest problems we saw was the data being moved from one system to other was always the big challenge, right? So that's where the whole problem statement as to why we needed one single platform came out. So we've been around for 3 years right now. We have over a few hundred customers right now using our platform. And we've received great feedback from our customers as well on how the platform is being leveraged. So especially coming to the AI side, there's a lot of intelligence that's being built on, right? So as you know, there are platforms which call themselves AI, but really there's the power of AI comes through the models that are out there and also how well you train these models. And these models are not like something that we built yesterday or last week. It's been years of work where we've been built that models and we've been training these models to make better efficient decisions as well. So I think what we are doing is these models are still learning. It's like having a baby. They're still growing and learning as in every day as we grow. And these models have been very effective. There are customers who came back and told us that their business have gone up because of using these platforms.
Venkat, this is interesting. The key word that you used there was intelligence, right? Staffing businesses need to add intelligence to 3 components, that's sales, recruitment, and human resources.
Right.
I'd like examples that can illustrate this piece.
Sure.
And the single point of truth is very important. Like you said, too many tools, different managers, different data sets, a lot of confusion, which you want to solve.
Everybody asks this question as, oh yeah, you are AI powered platform, but really what is this AI that you have, right? I'll just give you very high level on, how we are doing it on sales, recruitment, as well as HR.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting if you speak about how AI, ML play a major role without really getting into, what the others just do a narrative on, right? You could talk about how we're solving it, right? Okay. That'll be very interesting.
Sure. So coming to first aspect of sales, one of the most important factor that we have identified and we see as a problem is First is identification of a customer is a huge issue, right? There's no data available. There's a lot of these intent data platforms that are out there. So what we do is we do work with those platforms to pull out the relevant contacts and potential leads which can be closed, right? So there's a higher probability of closing those business. So we have integrations with multiple tools out there. So what we do is we pull the data from these platforms, and Urwin, what we do is we do prioritization of these, right? So we have our own inbuilt AI-based opportunity platform where you can figure out where it makes sense, right? Which opportunity has higher probability of closure. Ideally, what happens is sales teams spend a lot of time trying to figure out who's the right person to reach out to, or to figure out which customer would make more sense to close their business, right? I believe in an 80-20 rule, right? So where you get your 80% of your business from 20% of your customers. So a lot of times what we do is we tend to go after customers that we don't have, but there could be customers sometimes we have and there's potential to close business at. So our platform integrates with a lot of these third-party systems. It pulls out data and it pulls out contact details of potential companies. So I'll give you as simple as you can put your company name, you do a search, it'll give you all the contacts that are relevant to that company with phone number, email addresses, everything in the system. So that's how you get all the intelligence into the system as well. So there's all these AI models that are built behind the scene, which are trying to read and understand your data. And for each company, what it does is it tries to make a decision based on the action that is taken on the sales side. So that is one part. So I'll move on to recruiting. One of the biggest challenge with recruiting right now is, recruiter spends a lot of time sourcing candidates, right? They try to identify which are the right candidates, who do I reach out to. What we've done is we've built very robust AI-based models. We've built our own resume parser, which is all AI enabled. So for example, if you're parsing resumes, what it does is it reads it, adds all these tags to the tags out there. And then what happens is these tags are used at a later point. When you're doing your search as such, it goes out and finds the right candidate as well. So there's been a lot of AI models, especially on parsing side, searching side, and finding the right candidate. Other thing that's unique compared to other products is, I'll give you a very simple example, right? Yeah. As soon as you put a job out, create a job in Urwin, what it does is it automatically goes out in your database and tells you, you know what, there are 20 people who match this job description, reach out to these 20 people, right? And all you can do is within one click, you can send them an email, send them a text, send them a WhatsApp, also send them a chatbot request, right? So all you can do with this one click, send it to 100 people. And imagine 5 of them respond back. So you know that there are 5 people you can talk to who are interested, available, and these are people you can reach out to, right? Also, we have integration with over 100 plus job boards, Monster, the Career Builder, Indeed, LinkedIn. So we have integrations with all these job boards as well, right?
It's interesting. It's interesting. Do you also want to use an example of a vertical and how they use staffing, or how they use your solution to get leads, right? I'd like to know, before we move on to the next question, maybe you could take a tech company, for example, or an automobile company. How do they use the solution?
So especially from a lead generation perspective, where a lot of customers use our data is when you have your segment, like for example, you define who your target audience are.
Correct.
Right? I'm trying to sell my services into life sciences sector, and my customers are all life sciences. I do staffing for them. Nice. I have these 300 companies. I want to identify who are the contacts in these companies, right? So imagine what you do is you build your 300 ideal customer profile in your system.
Okay.
What the system does is it automatically goes out with few searches. It'll pull out all the contact information into your platform, right? Once you have that platform, you have their email, their phone number. Now you can figure out, how do I reach out to them? And you can do targeted marketing campaigns to reach out to these people and try to leverage them and get their interest. And once you get their interest, then you can reach out to them and close business faster.
I want to talk about staffing businesses in particular. Why do they struggle to retain existing customers or get new customers so far? Is it because of the number of tools and the data discrepancy at this point of time? And after that, you may want to go on to talk about your products, the automated lead builder and campaign manager, and how they can help you.
I'll tell you two challenges, right?
Yes, please.
First challenge is finding your ideal customer, right? finding the customer is the biggest problem. It's a very competitive environment. There are thousands of players. In the US, there are at least 40,000 staffing companies. In India, we have, I'll tell you, at least 200,000 plus companies.
Yeah, absolutely. Mom and pop shops.
Yeah, mom and pop shops, larger enterprises. Some do bulk, some do small, but white collar, blue collar. So there's all these recruiting, challenges that people have, right? So one of the biggest, so I said two challenges. One is finding the right customer and also finding the right guy who matches, right? I've seen this over the years. When you have an ideal customer, you never have your ideal candidate. Or whenever you have an ideal candidate, you never have the right customer, right? So there's been a big gap between, a customer versus the right candidate. So what we've seen and what we see this as an approach is to leverage this AI-based tools to match the opportunity to the candidate. It's very important. The link between sales as well as recruiting as well as HR is very important. And having one consolidated platform helps solve all these challenges, right?
You've gone out and said that your product delivers a superior experience to customers and employees. You've also said, you've quoted data that it says it increases sales productivity by 70%, it reduces cost per hire by about 60 to 70% too. And you also go on to tell them that it's because you're integrated CRM, ATS and HRMS, right? When you sell it in such a proposition, what do clients want? And what are the possibilities because of this narrative when CTOs, CMOs say that, hey, I want this product?
We ask customers, is like, currently you're using your CRM, how does it help, right? A lot of customers came back and said it has actually increased our sales. We've been able to find the right contacts, right information. It actually has reduced their time. Previously, they used to struggle because sales guys cannot find an email and phone number on people to reach out to, right? They need to have external third-party tools, platforms that they need, data platforms that they need to get this information. But with Urwin being integrated with all that, the data comes into the system. You don't need another data platform that you need to buy to pull the data in. So that is one area. Especially in recruiting, a lot of time recruiters spend is finding the candidate, right?
Yes.
I will tell you, every recruiter does the same complaint. Is like, I don't have time to enter the data. I'll tell you, everybody says the same thing. They have resumes sitting on their desktops, resumes sitting there in their email inbox, but never comes to a single platform, right? Especially for staffing or consulting companies, the most important factor is having that data. So that is very important. Like the number of resumes that you have, the access to candidates you have. It is not just having access to Naukri or Monster or any of these things, but internally, who do you have that you actually nurtured and are ready for a project? So it's very important to build that single platform that you have. So when you have that platform, it's easy to increase your business. Ideally, if you have the right candidate for the right opportunity, you are going to increase your productivity. Automatically, your revenue also goes up as well.
That's so interesting. And you're basically saying use the best of both worlds. Your internal employees, how can they be ready for the right project? Getting the right talent from outside too. Right? I mean, a quick note on why do recruiters make that mistake, or even managers make that mistake? Is it because they have the CV sitting there, but they're not able to see through as many, right? And a lot of the solutions offer a niche solution, right? Very niche. But you seem to address the whole encompassing thing. How did you manage that?
So I think this is all comes out of experience that we have in this industry. I think, again, I want to thank, it's not just me as such, but it's the team here that is driving all this. Ideally, we have a very good team who has a lot of experience in staffing and consulting world. So they've seen this problem repetitively, right? So based on all these experiences, we are like, oh, we see this problem repeating, right? How do we solve this problem, right? So that's where we came out with this problem. We need to stop this problem at some point. So let's just fix it right now.
Fantastic.
I'll tell you, still people struggle is adoption of a platform. This is a huge deal,
Correct.
They don't go to a platform unless they see a value in it, right? So, for example, a recruiter would go and use a platform only when he sees that because of this, I'm going to get the right candidate.
Yeah.
I can reduce my time of sending out emails, calling 100 guys. I can just use the platform, send out within 5 clicks, boom, right? So I've done my work. now I can increase my productivity. I think that's a huge impact is where we are creating.
While evolving, right, did you go through changes, business changes, saying, okay, you learn from one customer? There's a saying in management that you don't build up the total product in the beginning. You ship out a minimalistic product and then you start building, right?
True.
Was that how you evolved? And talk about the challenges for you as a person who moved from the services to the product. Like, you've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but a product strategy is completely different mindset. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So just to start with, how we started out, we realized the gap in recruitment. Mm-hmm. So what we did is first time we started building up the recruitment component. Then we added our digital component where you could do digital offer letters. Actually the platform is so robust that you don't need to send out offers like by email anymore, or all you can do is within one click find the candidate, click another click, have your templates right there, send them their offer letter, whatever documents you want from them. You can do everything within one click right there. So coming back to the problem right now. Yes. We've been able to address these challenges. We started out with recruiting, then we did HR, we built the HR component, and then we started building the sales component. So that's why we were able to put all of them together. And again, it did not happen in one day. What we did is we took a part of it, the recruiting, and we built on it based on the feedback we received. One of the most important success for us has been our customer support. We've been able to make sure that all our customers' issues are addressed as soon as possible. And again, being in the startup world, the speed to action is very important. So we try to make sure that we take customer feedback as soon as possible and try to, give them the right solution as well.
Talk about the strategy of sales for you itself. Will you go and tell your sales team that approach it in a matter of a full stack product, or would people buy all these three pieces independently? What would you recommend your clients to do?
So I would recommend clients to figure out where is the problem or challenge they have.
Yes.
It is not necessary that you have to buy all three areas, but ideally if sales is your problem, buy the sales component. Okay. If sales and recruitment together make sense, sign up for these two platforms.
Nice.
If back office, HR, collecting timesheets is my biggest problem, I'm doing amazing on recruiting, I need a better efficient platform for time, expense, invoicing. So, use that if that's the problem.
Today, it's the COVID at this point of time has really hit everybody. Staffing and consulting companies have been hit. Okay. What are the challenges that they're facing, and how can your product help?
So with COVID, I think there has been an impact. 2019 has been great for companies. There's been growth has been phenomenal across the world in US, India, and many other regions, right? 2020 has actually put a stop on a lot of these things, right? Yes. They have actually put brakes on them, like big time brakes. But at the same time, where we've been very successful, since start of the year to where we are almost at 300% growth from when we started, right? From Jan till now.
Correct.
We expect to close between 400 to 500% growth from year on year, right? So that's where our current targets are. In terms of value prop and what customers have liked in us is the simplicity of the tool, the amount of features that we have, and also the flexibility the product gives you, right? It's very customizable. You can create your own tables, you can create your own fields, you can customize it as much as possible, right? It is very helpful for the smallest of companies to the largest of companies. Okay, that means you see these staffing and consulting companies evolve in a particular manner, right? They're evolving to these new challenges. You want to tell me what do you see quickly over the next 6 months, or how are these industries evolving? So one of the biggest challenges I see as a number one priority for all consulting staffing companies is adoption of intelligent platforms is a highest priority. I'll tell you, this has been my experience from previous companies too. Correct. Even large enterprises are moving towards intelligent enterprise, right? But larger enterprises have a lot of complexities because of the data that they have, the models, the different departments, the way they work. Every company is different, but even these AI models that larger ERPs build don't just fit all, right? So it takes time to evolve. I think in this segment of consulting and staffing companies, it's a huge opportunity to scale, to move to that next level, where if you adopt right now into these new next generation platforms, you have a very high flexibility of growth. You get growth automatically when you change your process and update your process, have the right tool in place, have the right people in place. I think that is one way of increasing. What I've seen traditionally, over the years before is, as the company grows larger, people were just adding more recruiters, right? I don't think that's the right solution. Is adding more recruiters won't solve the problem of filling all your jobs. I think the solution will be having an AI-based platform that will help with whatever your resources you have, increase the productivity, rather than adding more recruiters and having more bodies is not the right solution.
And what do you take pride in Urwin? You mentioned about your team, you mentioned about your technology, you mentioned about the product market growth. What else are you proud about? Are you proud about the fact that it's got to X number of customers in so many years, in 3 years? Or do you take pride in the fact that here is something that's going to solve a lot of problems for enterprise?
I think we take pride in the value proposition and the value that we can give to customers. That is something that we are very proud of. And sometimes what excites us is the feedback we get from customers. And customers come back and say, wow, your product is amazing. I love your product. I love your teams that are helping us out in terms of implementation, support, requests for features. So that is what excites us day in, day out, is the feedback that we get from our customers and also the value that we are providing.
Okay. Venkat, the product can be used by SMBs across the world, even startups, right, of all sizes. Let me throw in a few examples that can I be a 5-member startup and use your platform for my sales?
Yes, you can be a 1-member team as well. You're sitting at your house, you have your own database of resumes, you have this existing customer who gives you these job requirements, you're trying to match your job candidates with them. You can start at 1 person. And the largest customer that we have has over 400 recruiters who use our platform. They have 2,000 employees across the world. They have multiple salespeople. So that's the largest customer that we have. So our platform is used by small to the smallest, to an individual player, to the largest company as well. So we see the big difference is, I see a lot of companies who do work only at an enterprise level or only at an SMB level, right?
Correct.
But what we're trying to do is be that gap between small and medium as well as large. And it is pay for what you use, right? You don't have to pay for the whole enterprise license. If you just need 1 license, 2 licenses, 5 licenses, you just buy that and use it rather than paying for, like an enterprise customer. You get the same features of an enterprise, even as a small.
Okay. I just want to talk about your global strategy before talking about your vision. Other key markets that you want to focus on, is India a key market for you? I know US tops the list for everybody. A little bit of the market strategy across different regions and geographies.
So we see this problem that is in a market like India, right? As you know, India is always about scale, right? There is so many users and potential customers who are currently not using any platform, right? There's no recruiting platform that they use. And usually they are very reactive. It's as a tendency is they just react upon, I need a platform because I'm getting a customer today. They usually don't plan ahead and have a platform that will help them scale. I think that is one area that needs evolvement, and where we can help out is having that proactive planning. For example, that this quarter you need to hire 50 people, 100 people. You can do that at a proactive scale.
What makes Urwin a great place to work, and are you hiring at this point?
We are always hiring. It is not necessary to put out a job. I mean, that's not what we believe in. But we are always looking for good people to come and join us. We've been growing at scale, and again, we always would love good people coming us and joining us as a part of this long-term journey that we have.
Type of roles, engineers mostly, AI engineers, ML.
So we have roles in multiple departments. We have in customer success, we have in user experience, product team, engineering, data science. I shouldn't say HR. HR probably will be mad at me. Other than that, everything else.
That's really well said. I like the word customer service, right? That's a very important function. How do you handle it internally?
So we do have a large, fairly decent sized customer success team, which we've been growing over since we started out.
Yeah.
I think the most important factor is our closeness to our customer, right? We have dedicated reps, customer success folks who work with our customers day in, day out. If they have any issue, all they can do is directly email to that guy and he responds back. What we've seen in large enterprises is the customer success has gone down, and what they would do is go find it yourself, go to a portal, do it yourself. But ideally, I still see that where companies want that one-to-one feeling, right?
I know.
They want to just talk to that guy, be like, I have this problem, show me how to do it. I think that's the big unique value is where we see it is, we can do that at scale.
That's so interesting. Okay, your vision. Let's say 18-month vision, 3-year vision. In this industry, 3 years is like a long time. What is your vision for this company and this startup? And it's like a rocket ship growth for you. For 300% growth, you said. Okay, so what is going to be your next vision? 600% growth? Is that going to be like that?
So I don't think measuring it by revenue is a growth factor. Is the impact that we can create in an industry what I would make ourselves as a target. Is we do want to grow in revenue as well as because you have to grow in revenue. You have more people you hire. So there's all these factors as well. So there's also revenue that's needed. At the same time, what we see is we want to make sure we do an impact in this industry and make sure we want to be the right platform of choice for all staffing and consulting companies.
Absolutely. Venkat, that was a real insightful interview. Thank you very much. I'm sure startups, SMBs, large enterprises watching this who struggle with their sales, recruitment and HR will definitely benefit from using Urwin. Go use their technology. I'll tell you why. Because, they have different pricing plans for everybody. They also offer a 7-day free trial, right? And that's something that you got to try out. And Urwin is the name. It means victory. Use it and become victorious. And Venkat, thank you for being on the show. You're amazing.
Thanks, Vishal.